So do you think it was a remotely good idea, like whatsoever, that the Atreides agreed to go to Arrakis in the first place?
No, they should. They
Like,
we've kind of had this conversation before.
Sort of. We kind of tiptoed around it. Yeah.
No, they shouldn't have stuck their nose in other people's business.
They had such a good thing going for them on Caladan. I don't understand why.
Yeah, you're on basically like a fucking paradise planet.
Well, compared to Arrakis.
Compared to everything else, exactly.
Oh God, other than the drugs, apparently on Arrakis, that's the only thing the fucking place has going for it. Like the spice, that's it.
You got a good thing going there. Try not to fucking. I feel like all these great houses and everything. It's like I compare it to being in a work environment.
Right.
Don't say anything bad about anyone. If anybody else is saying something bad about somebody else to you, just fucking keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Don't say anything, because then nobody has anything to use on you. Nobody hates you for anything.
Right.
But all that being said, I feel like Caladan is still like a target almost, and he has to. Duke Leto had to put himself out there, and do all the politics stuff, and it's just inevitable that he's gonna rub people the wrong way, and people are gonna be scheming behind the scenes. But all that being said, you still don't have to fucking take that bait, which you know is bait, because you think you're gonna come out on top, because you shouldn't be that cocky about it.
He puts his house at risk. He puts his family at risk. Everything. His life is put at risk, and it just does not pay off at all. Obviously, maybe it pays off in the long run because of what happens with Paul and then later the second, all that stuff. So they do end up inevitably taking complete control.
They do, but in the wrong way. And I feel, I was just gonna say I know, like I knew Duke Leto. But what I think is Duke Leto wouldn't have liked the way that it came about. No. If you told him if he was still alive or something or whatever, you told him like, hey, or you just said like in the future, like Paul is going to become like pretty much like the fucking leader of the entire universe.
Absolutely. Then
he'd be like, oh my God, that's great.
His grandkid becomes the fucking God Emperor.
I know. If you told him all this, he'd be like, that's great. But then if you told him the specifics and what really happened, he'd be like, that's not the way we were supposed to do that. Shit. Now we're not. Now we're just as bad as everybody else. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what he would think.
Absolutely. So I think it was honestly an asinine fucking decision. Obviously, one that ultimately culminated into a pretty damn good story. So it had to happen for the story to happen.
That's what I mean, when we talked about this a while ago, and that's what I said. I'm like, because then you don't have like the drama and the the story shit. Because we joked around about it, where it's like, I think there's even a meme about it.
Oh, probably.
Where it's like,
definitely.
I'm really gonna miss like the ocean and everything. It's like, you want to just stay? Yeah, fuck it. Let's just stay.
Let's just stay.
The agreement's off.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
The cast in alphabetical order. But I mean, that's about it. Duke Leto is a whole ass.
He's a whole ass. What do you mean by that?
He's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Just by agreement, there's some people are.
Oh, you just said it like
ass.
Yoda.
Some people are a fucking whole ass. Duke Leto is a fucking whole ass, man.
Nah, I think his weakness was that he was too good in the sense of like he's a better person than most of these leaders of these other houses and shit.
Yeah.
He knew how to play the game with politics and everything.
Right.
But he also wasn't like a fucking like murderer or like any like crazy, he wasn't like vindictive. He wasn't a fucking sociopath. He wasn't a psychopath. He wasn't
I kind of get like an Eddard Stark feel for
absolutely,
Duke Leto.
Dude. That's where I don't care what anybody says. That's what that is fucking from, dude.
Right.
Well, if you watch, read or watch the first season of Game of Thrones or the first Game of Thrones book. Yeah. Ned Stark is just—it's so obvious. He's fucking Duke Leto.
It's definitely that feeling. Not a bad character. Obviously well-intentioned. He put everything at risk just to
his whole fucking family, like
just for political power, really.
Yeah, and the thing is, when he gets so pissed in Dune, when he's like, he says it over and over, just to, I guess Frank Herbert was trying to like really, tell you like he's pissed about this. When he keeps saying like they tried to take the life of my son, they tried to take the life of my son. It's like, Okay, but you had to you put him at risk because you put him at risk for this.
That's the whole reason this is happening. It's your bullshit. Yeah.
So I get that you're pissed off, but it's like, this is kind of your fault.
Right. But he
put him in
also
danger.
knew it was everything that was happening was pretty much a trap. Something wasn't quite right. So it's like he's acting surprised when he knows something like that's going to happen anyway.
Right.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in all, not a bad person. He meant well.
He meant well. He was also good at kind of being like a fake politician, though, I guess, if you want to say it that way. But he knew that he had to do that. So I don't really know. That's kind of like, it might have been like a mask that he puts on. You know what I mean?
Well,
rest in peace, dude.
Right, rest in peace. It worked out for the rest of the Atreides, I guess.